It'd be the number one piece of advice I would give UX designers when presenting to a client. Make sure you're not just showing the what of your designs, but also the why. I've been in some meetings with clients where a designer went through their work and wrapped it up in like 2 to 5 minutes, and nobody had any questions, and so we moved on. And that might feel really good at the time, and I can understand maybe if you're nervous wanting to race through your work and kind of get it out of the way. But if the client doesn't understand exactly why you designed things the way that you did, they're probably going to come back with a lot of questions later, and they may have issues with your work that you could have resolved earlier. Now, what would be an example of this? Let's say you're presenting your wireframe, and in the middle of the wireframe you have, say, 3 promotional modules in a row, and you have an image and some copy. Now, if you just describe to the client the modules as I did and say something like, you have 3 modules in a row here, you can have different images with each of them, and copy and a link to learn more, you haven't really done your job, because I can tell that by looking at the design, right? So what's very important is that you go deeper and explain to the client, this is why we created the module this way. After talking to you, after talking to users, we determined that, for example, there's this content that is deep on the site that nobody is getting to, that they really need to see. It's imperative that they see this. This module is going to drive people to that, so they'll be much more likely to read it. And you'll probably get some proof later on, indeed, that that's what happened via your analytics. Or another example could be, we want people to complete this form, and the number of people completing it has been very low. They can never find it. It's kind of hard to find via our navigation. So if we put this promo on the home page as one of these 3 modules, it's going to drive people to that. And you may find indeed that the number of completed forms goes way up. That's the why. And that's going to take you a little longer than just saying, you can have an image here and some copy and a CTA, right? But that's going to be much more useful. And you may even be able to go into more detail to answer things like, what if we want to rotate these promos, or they're more of a carousel or something like that. You can have a deeper conversation to talk about the strategy behind your design. That's going to take a little longer to go through that whole wireframe, and you might be nervous the first few times you do this, but it tells a much deeper story and helps the client understand what it is that you're trying to accomplish and why.